So for more now, I'd like to welcome in retired Navy Rear Admiral and Senior Fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, Mark Montgomery. Admiral, thank you so much for your time today. So many things unfolding here. So Secretary Hegseth said that this operation is just getting started, that they're in the middle of a pre-planned playbook, and that the U.S. is, quote, winning decisively. What are your takeaways from what we heard from the Secretary of War?
So I think that's fairly accurate in the military sense. In the military sense, you had a combined 900 strikes a day campaign plan with the Israelis, 400 to 500 from us a day, 400 to 500 from them a day. I think our numbers will go up over time. Theirs might slip a little. But the bottom line is a very thick strike attack day after day after day. So we're into day 5 of it. So, they're hitting, somewhere around their 4,000th to 4,500th set of targets. That is a thick set of targeting. That allows you to get at IRGC leadership and their facilities, suppress all of enemy air defense, as General Kane referred to, destroy their Navy, and now work our way back through their ballistic missile production and facilities and weapons, and their drone production facilities and weapons, so that they can't fire those at us over time. And you can see by the numbers you're running, there's significant depletion in those. So somewhere around week 2, around day 12 or 13, we'll have used up all our target sets, and then we'll be doing battle damage assessment to go reattack, to assess what we didn't realize before and attack those some more. And that's how you get out to about week 3. So from my point of view, this military campaign is going pretty much as General Kane would have directed Admiral Cooper, the Central Command commander, to execute it.
Okay, so I want to talk more about supplies, about how long this can last. But the Secretary also laying out this plan to take control of Iran's airspace. I want to listen to some of what he said.
We have only just begun to hunt, dismantle, demoralize, destroy, and defeat their capabilities, just 4 days in. Starting last night and to be completed in a few days, in under a week, the 2 most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace.
I mean, do you think there's a clear definition of the long-term objectives here? Do you feel also that we will have complete control of their airspace? Because that's obviously quite a big deal.
So what I described earlier was impacting IRGC leadership and basically eliminating their ability to respond to anything, eliminating their military capabilities and capacity. And that's what General Kane has said. What neither General Kane nor Secretary Hegseth are saying is what's the long-term political end game to this. So you're getting a very, when you're at the Pentagon with the Department of Defense, you're getting an excellent brief on the military plan. What's missing from this, something that either Secretary Rubio or the president has to add in, is how does this transition to a political end game? And I'm not sure that level of that plan has the same detail and potential for success that clearly this military campaign is having.
Yeah, you bring up such a good point there. So speaking of the military campaign of it all, so we know the administration is saying that this war can essentially continue for as long as is necessary. I also want to listen to some of that.
Iran cannot outlast us. We're going to ensure through violence of action and our offensive capabilities and our defensive capabilities, as I said, that we set the tone and the tempo of this fight. That's why stories and speculation about different things that try to make it look like we're limited in what we can do. The only limits we have in this is President Trump's desire to achieve specific effects on behalf of the American people. And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3. Ultimately, we set the pace and the tempo.
And there are, Admiral, are concerns if this, becomes 8 weeks or longer, 12 weeks. I mean, if this continues, there are some reports of the U.S. running low on precision-guided bombs, for example. How long do you think this level of action can be sustained?
Well, I agree with Secretary Hegseth on this. We have a munition stockpile that's sized for a China or Russia campaign. So an Iran campaign, which is a much a smaller subset of a China-Russia campaign, we clearly have enough offensive munitions for. Look, could I find this single munition for which we experimental or which we had low initial production, which we might be running out of, sure. But we have tons of suitable substitutes. We have the offensive munitions to execute 3, 6, 8, even longer campaigns. So don't be misled on that. The defensive munitions are a little bit different. That's Patriot, THAAD, the Standard Missile 3s on the Navy ships off of Israel. Those kind of defensive munitions, we do have limits on. We have over 25 years not purchased enough. As a result, we've had some leakers come through. Now, leakers are always going to come through. By the way, you could have a perfect amount of munitions, and defensive munitions are 90+% effective, but that other 10% minus gets through, and you have casualties. So defensive munitions are a challenge. I think we have enough to get through this contingency. I will say defensive munitions are less necessary if your offensive attacks are more aggressive. And General Kane, Admiral Cooper, and Secretary Hegseth have done an aggressive offensive campaign here, along with our Israeli partners. This is the most weight being dropped on an adversary in modern warfare since World War II.
And Admiral, you mentioned casualties there. We know 6 U.S. service members have been killed. There are real worries that that number is only going to increase. The president even said that explicitly at one point. Secretary Hegseth says U.S. bases in the Middle East are safe. Do you believe that's the case for our troops there and for the worried family members back here at home?
Well, sadly, you're right. That number can't decrease, right? And so it can only increase. And look, is there risk there's risk in combat? Yes. There's risk to the sailors on ships, as the Iranians found out last night. There's risk to airmen and soldiers, at 14 or 16 bases whose GPS locations are known by the Iranians. But the faster we remove their ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones, the better off those sailors, soldiers, airmen will be in their locations. So casualties could still occur. The president's right. But the secretary's also right that the U.S. military is taking aggressive action to minimize the risk to our forces and decimate and decrement the Iranian ability to attack.
Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.